Well, I can announce all of them now. I could announce 50 to 100 deals right now because, I'm the shopkeeper and I keep the store. And, I know what countries are looking for and I know what we're looking for. And I can just set those terms and they can go shopping or they don't have to go shopping because everybody wants to shop here. This is like a beautiful store. This is like one of Bernard Arnault, or maybe I should say Alex, even more importantly, the future. But Bernard's an honor to have you. We'll have a meeting after this. But he has the greatest stores in the world, and they want to shop. Our country is the greatest store in the world of that kind, and everybody wants a piece of it. And they took advantage of us for years because we allowed our presidents allowed it to happen. I don't blame.
Hey, what's going up, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. We have an awesome video for you today. Whales just scooped up 4 million XRP in 3 days. Are they betting on a massive breakout? And meanwhile, Vanguard, yes, the $10 trillion giant, just dropped $7 billion into Bitcoin. So stick around and find out what that means for your portfolio. Hey, what's going up, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel where we break down crypto news for you that you need to know every single day. Today, we've got 3 massive stories. XRP whales are making huge moves. The White House is talking trade with China. And Vanguard's big bet on Bitcoin is shaking up the market. These aren't just headlines. They could change how you trade or invest. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news in the financial markets today. We will also be heading over to the charts to take out XRP at the very end of this video. If you're here just for that, skip forward to that. That's totally fine. We're going to be looking for our next resistance and support levels for XRP. We'll also be checking out the long-term and short-term momentum waves, and so much more for you in this video today. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here on this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you're feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. But first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. So currently we are trading at a $3.32 trillion market cap. As you can see on the 30-day scale here, it has been nothing but up for crypto, which is fantastic. On April 11th, 2025, we were all the way at 2.6 trillion. We've nearly added $1 trillion to the market. And when we zoom out to the yearly, we've taken out another significant milestone here, all the way back from February 20th, the $3.24 trillion mark. We have now broken above that, creating another new market structure. So if you remember, we recently took out the highs from March 25th at 2.8. Then our next move we needed to take out was 3.15, which came from March 2nd. And now taking out these levels here from February 14th at 3.24. The next level we would need to look for and break is $3.6 trillion. We had a significant amount of volume in the last 24 hours, $136 billion traded. Fear and greed continues to tick up at 75 now, which is really fantastic considering a little over a month ago on April 8th, we were all the way at 15 in extreme fear. Now we're approaching the potential of extreme greed. We're sitting at 75, which is the greed level. Yesterday was a 71. Last week was a 53, so a huge move in the markets the last couple of days. Alt season index continues to tick up just a tad, 36 out of 100, so still not in the blue. Bitcoin dominance continues to come down. We're at 62.1%. Last week, we were all the way up 63.9%. Checking in on the Bitcoin ETF tracker to finish the week last week was a fantastic move to the upside. $321 million inflows, institutional buying. And as I've been talking about for months now on the channel, to follow the Bitcoin ETF tracker, look what happened when volume started coming into the ETFs. It was definitely a leading indicator to where price was going for Bitcoin, and the markets continue to follow. Zooming out on the yearly view here, we did have, again, the second highest ever inflow into Bitcoin ETFs, $3 billion 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago now. 2 weeks ago, $1.8 billion, and last week, $920 million. So volume is cooling off a little. We definitely want to see continued momentum this upcoming week. We'll keep you updated every single day. Make sure you subscribe. Taking a look at the top 5 coins by total market cap. Number 1, Bitcoin at 103,700, $2.60 trillion. Ethereum, number 2 at 2,500, is at $300 billion. Tether at number 3, $149 billion. XRP at number 4. Will it take out the number 3 spot this week? Let me know down in the comment section if you think it will. trading at $2.36 at $138 billion. BNB at 650. We got 91 billion, and the race between BNB and Solana continues. Solana coming in at number 6, $171 at $89 billion. Upcoming news this week for the financial markets. Lots of red folder news coming up. Nothing on Monday, nothing until Tuesday. So check back in. We'll continue to keep you updated on all of that every single day as well. Heading over to X to find out all the breaking news. First off, don't forget you can win $100 worth of XRP. We're doing a giveaway every single week. We give it away on Sundays. If you want to win, all you need to do is like this post. You have to head over to the BULLRUNNERS HQ. Make sure you follow us as well. But you're going to head over to BULLRUNNERS HQ on X.com, like the post that's pinned, comment XRP below, and sign up for the Blowfin account using our affiliate link right here. And you would get a 10% deposit bonus up to $50K. So you can get $5,000 deposit bonus. And the winners will be announced in our daily email newsletter we send out for you for updates on news and education on Sunday night's edition at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. As you saw in the intro, Trump says he could announce a 50 to 60 deals right now because I'm the shopkeeper and I keep the store. And if you're not familiar with what he's talking about, he's actually talking about the trade deals with all the tariffs information that's been rolling in. Lots of negotiations going on behind the scenes. We've got a full article. We'll be covering this in more detail in this video. Also breaking, Conor McGregor is going to be meeting with President Bukele to discuss establishing a Bitcoin strategic reserve in Ireland. They're saying it's happening now. Obviously, McGregor's not the president of Ireland yet. He's running to become president of Ireland. One of the most popular presidents worldwide right now is Bukele, so it's very smart to make a good friendship with someone who's liked on the world stage. Also, $110 billion VanEck says sovereigns will aggressively buy and use Bitcoin soon. Now, as you know, we do love XRP on this channel, but we also cover a lot of Bitcoin information. Bitcoin is the leaders of the market. As you saw, it's leading in total market cap. It's also the leader in all of the news that's always coming out. So take a listen to this.
And then over the longer term, we think there's a good chance that central banks and sovereign wealth funds will start to get more aggressive in adopting Bitcoin, not only as a store of value, but also as a medium of exchange. So this year, the Czech Republic, the governor of the central bank there, has initiated a study to analyze Bitcoin for inclusion in their central bank reserves. And then just this week, Russia did a trade with China, partially denominated in Bitcoin, beginning to really use Bitcoin for the first time as a medium of exchange. And that's not for individuals buying coffee. That's for large scale transactions where countries are using Bitcoin as an intermediary currency to do, say, an oil trade. And in that scenario where Bitcoin denominated trade could be, say, 5% of global trade, we get to a $3 million price per Bitcoin. That's a long-term prediction, like 2050. But that's going to be necessary, we think, to elevate Bitcoin into the millions per coin.
Now, something to keep in mind when it comes to Bitcoin, a lot of people think that people think I have to buy one Bitcoin. There's never any way that I'm ever going to afford a Bitcoin, but you can stack Satoshis. Bitcoin is divisible extremely well. So no matter what you're doing, is it smart to own Bitcoin at all? I know a lot of you guys are altcoin maxis that follow us, that are subscribers to the channel. Are you also holding Bitcoin? Do you think holding Bitcoin is a good idea, or should you only hold alts? Now, there's a lot of rumors going around that the China deals and the America trade war that's going on, that there's going to be no groceries on the shelves at all in America. We're going to be ruined. No one's going to have peanut butter. No one's going to have bread. No one's going to have any food or toys to buy for Christmas. Well, Zero Hedge posted this, which was some great research here. This is great. The only problem is that there actually are, checks Bloomberg. If you're not familiar with Bloomberg Terminal, it's a big, big deal. It costs a lot of money to subscribe to. It has faster than anywhere else news on financial markets. Says that exactly 53 ships are headed for California's top ports, more than there were this time a year ago. So the ships that are still on their way for traditional trade are taking place. There are going to be groceries on the shelves. So do not be feared by the fake news out there. And that was in response to this post from Jonathan Lemire, who said 0 ships from China are bound for California's top ports. Officials haven't seen that since the pandemic. And then, of course, Zero Hedge fact checked him in real time. This was also a really great video. You know, a lot of haters out there of XRP continue to talk about how Ripple holding XRP is what's really the problem with XRP, making it not decentralized, and all you can go through every single objection of XRP versus Ripple that you've heard. But take a listen to this.
We own 60 billion XRP, the company. I get it. I don't know that Bitcoin and Ethereum is that much more decentralized in terms of holdings. Right? I think Vitalik has a fair bit of Ethereum, right? So does Joe Lubin. The early Bitcoiners have tons, right? I mean, I saw some study the other day that like 90% of the holdings are 10% of the wallets in Bitcoin and Ethereum, some crazy thing like that. So it's a little more private, right? I think ours is a little more public, especially because the company holds so much. What I would say is it puts us in a very interesting position with respect to economics, because number one, so my job is building liquidity. One of the ways you do that is you lend XRP to people so that they can provide liquidity in markets. If you want to provide a bid and an offer in a market, you have to have cash to buy something. And if you want to sell it, you have to have the thing to sell. Well, the only way you sell something is either own it or you borrow it. In the Bitcoin space, it's really hard to borrow stuff. It's expensive, 10 to 15% annual interest rates, and it's hard to find like really chunky loans. With XRP, people can just come to us and be like, hey, I want to borrow some XRP. Not anybody, but really professional market makers. It's something that we can do that nobody else can do, right? In that flow that I described where somebody's buying XRP, moving it, and selling it, we can guarantee the rates. So everybody always asks me, it's like, well, but you're bridging between two fiat currencies. Like, you have to do two hops, there's two spreads you're crossing, the liquidity's not great, it's volatile. No problem. I will pay you the difference. If you're going across this rail and it's expensive, I am very much incentivized to make sure that you do that, because the more liquidity, the more utility, in theory, over time, the more valuable XRP will be. So in the short run, we're very much incentivized to make all those frictions go away. So I don't see our holdings as a detriment, and I definitely do not care if there are skeptics and skeptics about everything. But it puts us in an incredibly powerful position to actually activate the use case.
So from that, you can gather why Ripple is holding so much XRP. It's massively beneficial to Ripple and XRP for adoption in general. You definitely need to take a listen to that. And for all of my XRP army out there, this was a great post from King Karan. It says, without the Riddlers, half of the people in XRP community wouldn't even be here. I tend to agree with that, because most people would have already sold their XRP if they didn't think that there was a potential of this future huge opportunity coming their way. So that was a great point. I figured I would throw that in there. Also, $10 trillion Vanguard just reported holdings of $7 billion worth of Bitcoin exposure. So massive quick updates there. Now let's dive into the headlines. 4 million XRP accumulation. XRP whales are ready. Technical indicators and on-chain metrics indicate that whales are preparing for another round of accumulation field growth. With over 4 million transactions recorded in the last 3 days, a sharp rise over the pre-pump baseline, the recent spike in network activity reveals powerful and unusual movement. As of right now, XRP is trading above the 50, the 100, and the 200-day EMAs, exponential moving averages, which is an unquestionably bullish technical pattern that offers strong basis for future gains. The RSI also is above 50, which is the bullish equivalent. Right now it's at 59. Once it gets over the 70-80 range, that's when I start to get a little worried when it's on the daily. And beginning around May 8th, the XRP Ledger Analytics payments chart demonstrates a noticeable increase in transaction volume, reaching a peak of over 1.3 million payments in a single day and maintaining steady levels above 1 million payments per day. So what's also really interesting when you talk about all of these other chains, one of the things that they talk about the most is obviously speed of transactions, which we know XRP has. But the actual use of the network is very important. As we can see right here, volume and usage of the network continues to be high for XRP. The next target range is $2.70 to $3 if XRP keeps support above 220 and keeps consolidating around their breakout level. I have a target personally, which we'll go over here when we get to these charts here in a couple of minutes. 250 is going to be the first resistance level. It's like 252. And then we break out, it's actually $2.80. So that's correct, $2.70 between there and $3. Although there is a chance of a breakout line to be retested, the bullish bias will continue as long as 220 holds. So in summary, whales are moving, volume is increasing, and XRP seems to be preparing for a long push, possibly towards that $3 mark. And before we jump into the full-on charting, this is Blowfin, the account. You can get one down below. Right now I have a long trade open. It's up 19 cents, so nothing big yet. I opened it a couple of hours ago, right at this same level. It's just been a consolidating and trading sideways. The new market week has officially opened. Looking for a break above the simple moving average right here. This is the 60 simple moving average. That has been the rejection point at this point right now. But if we see a run up, I've got my take profit set right here at $2.43. This is a small account challenge. Literally, I tossed 25 bucks into this account to test out Blowfin, see how it's going. So far, so good. For those of you in our Telegram chat, you can see this is the long trade I took yesterday from right here and took profit right here. 7x long trade, maybe about 30%. If you also want to do some long trades, check the link down in the description below for Blowfin. You get an opportunity, a 10% sign up bonus. If you deposited even up to $50,000, you get a $5,000 bonus. If you deposit 100, you get 10% on that. Whatever you want to use, click the link down below. Now let's talk about this trade deal with China. Although the White House claimed progress was made, there is no official details on the deal that will be announced. Now, obviously, there's a bunch of haters out there saying that it's not real. They're not having conversations. However, according to a May 11th announcement from the White House, more details on these trade talks and the agreed proposed agreement will be revealed on May 12th. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, said, "I'm happy to report that we made substantial progress between the United States and China in the very important trade talks." He continued on, "We will be giving details tomorrow, but I can tell you that the talks were productive." Now, Trump's tariffs have caused chaos in the markets, and they're drawing widespread criticism, of course. Although the traditional markets and digital asset markets have recovered and retraced some of the value that lost the initial price shock, investor uncertainty is still very much alive in these markets. Back in April, the Customs and Border Protection announced that there's going to be select products, some tech products that will be exempt from the tariffs, including smartphones, processing chips, computers, and others. But then just a little while later, the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, said that that is not going to be happening. And then there's also been a statement from Trump saying that he's not going to be doing this, oh, let's do an agreement or a special thing here, a special thing there, a special thing. No concessions on individual items. He said it's too much. He's keeping the tariffs where they are. They'll go up in chunks or down in chunks. And when the deal's done, the deal is done. Now, obviously, because there is some chaos and there is some skepticism, because there is no true on-paper deal yet, the lack of a comprehensive, decisive trade policy has called the Trump administration's plan into questions, with many observers saying that the trade tariffs will only create more discord in financial markets and the broader economy. So let me know down in the description below, do you believe that the trade deal is going to get done? All right, jumping into the XRP charts, we've got some really good stuff going on. So as we've been talking, this level right here, this $2.24 level, and this comes from our spider lines. If you're new here, you can actually take the drop of 2018 on the weekly basis and draw a line from the top of each of those candles and use the pivot point from the high of 2021, that April candle. And then they will give you lines into the future. So we're using the Ray tool, which is a tool on TradingView called the Ray. You get 2 points. One is from the 2018 downside, and the pivot point is right here. And it gives us future support and resistance. Now, these are called spider lines. They come from CryptoFace. You can find him on YouTube as well. And as we can see, they've been very spot on as far as calling out good places for support and resistance. So as of right now, we needed to break that 224, and we tried numerous times, unfortunately failing. We finally got that true breakout to the upside right here back on May 8th. Now, one thing to keep in mind, a lot of people are hoping that there's going to be massive, massive crypto moves over the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday. Now, that does create a problem in the market. It creates an imbalance because remember, the futures trading, you've probably heard of the CME gap, right? So when Bitcoin takes a huge move on Saturday and Sunday, for some reason, it always comes back and fills in the CME gap. So personally, I don't even like the markets to move very much over the weekends. It's nice. The traditional markets are now open, which is great. But as you can see, our Saturday move and then our Sunday recovery here basically wiped out everything that happened on Saturday. So there is no fair value gap there. So there is no reason for it to come back. However, the May 8th candle did leave a fair value gap all the way down to about $2.17. That will be filled eventually. As we look at our long-term momentum chart here, we're bullish. We're in the green, so we should continue to push up. Also, our short-term momentum, the shaft trend cycle, it is currently on its way up to the 100 level. So that is still building tremendous positive upside momentum. You can see the day before we broke out, which was May 7th, we had zeroed out at the 0 level, which is nice on the shaft trend cycle, which cycles from 0 to 100, 0 to 100. Right now, we're making that move up nice. And what's really exciting, what I've been talking to you guys now about 4 weeks, because of the fact that the shaft trend cycle had reset to 0 on the weekly charts, we finally got our first taste of weekly green moving to the upside. Now, it does need continuation here. So this week's candle ends in 40 minutes. We need another green candle next week to really give us the follow through. As you can see, last time, the long or the short-term momentum recycle on the weekly charts was back here October 28th. And then as we move from 0, or is actually at 3, when we move from 3 up to 100, that's when price swung from 55 cents all the way up to our all-time high of $3.40. If we get that same type of move, we're going to be landing in the $14 per XRP. So keep a very close eye on the shaft trend cycle on the weekly. And the settings we are using on this is the 10 for the fast and 30 for the slow. In fact, if we take a look here at Bitcoin, we can see when it reset to 0, now Bitcoin leads the markets as we've been talking about, but the weekly candle of April 14th was the week just before the breakout. And as this thing on the weekly has been continued to move up and the long-term stays in the green, we can see this massive pump that has started to happen for Bitcoin. We haven't even gotten to the top of this cycle yet. So there is still more potential over the next couple of days. There will be some ups and downs potentially in the markets during this move. But when you take a look at this, Bitcoin is up at 82 and XRP has just literally taken a small peak of green to the upside. And when we take a look at what happened with Ethereum, same scenario, weekly reset to 0, the weekly starts moving to the upside and Ethereum starts to pump. And the exciting thing is the long-term weekly is not even bullish yet for Ethereum. So this is not a confirmation for Ethereum yet. This has a lot of time to get and clear the 0 line so we can be considered bullish again. That's on the weekly. Let's look at the daily. The daily has actually confirmed bullish on our long-term momentum indicator. This confirmed bullish on April 29th. It did have quite an extensive amount of consolidation still, even through that period. But once it broke above that 50 exponential moving average, it really took a shot to the upside. So I'm very excited to see what happens on our short-term momentum waves for XRP because it's only getting started. Hey, bull runners, are you feeling FOMO about this bull run without the right financial support? We're here to change that. We're not just about funding, we're about growing your business together. Whether you're investing in crypto, kicking off a new startup, managing your existing business, or looking to expand, we have personalized funding that meets your exact needs. Imagine starting your business or getting capital to invest $100,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest. That's not a dream, it's what we do. We've helped countless entrepreneurs like you with 0% interest funding without needing personal funds, income verification, or collateral. With just a 680 credit score, you qualify. We understand that your business can't wait, so take advantage of our quick funding approach. We look beyond the credit score with inclusive approval process that sees the big picture of your business or investment potential. Our flexible repayments are tailored to match your business cycles, ensuring you can manage repayments without strain. With access to our extensive lending network of over 5,000 options, we're committed to finding the perfect match for your business or investing needs. Plus, you'll have our dedicated team by your side guiding you through every step of the funding journey. Whether it's buying crypto, hiring new employees, or launching a new product, we're committed to your success. Click the link to connect with our expert advisors and secure your business's future now.